What is up guys, it's Solam here, back again with another Classic WoW video, this time centered around Wrath of the Lich King Classic. Now, while the topic of this video is Wrath of the Lich King Classic, we will be talking quite a bit about the Burning Crusade Classic, as this is a preparation video after all, and in order to prepare yourself for Wrath, you pretty much have to play some TBC. So throughout this video, my goal is for you guys to know more about what exactly is coming in Wrath of the Lich King, and how you can set yourself up for a successful Wrath of the Lich King experience. I have always been heavily interested in the economical aspect of the game, such as gold farming and gold making, but this video is not going to focus only on that, rather I'm going to also focus on which characters you should level up, or how many alts you should try to have ready, which professions to go for, as well as some Wrath investments, and even some items that you will want to obtain during TBC Classic, as they will help you a lot in Wrath as well. So with that said, let's go! So let's dive into leveling and professions first, as these kind of go hand in hand regarding professional alts and so on. First of all, you got to decide which professions that you want to go for, and make sure you got those ready for your main. There's honestly too much to choose from in that department for me to give an in-depth breakdown in this video, so I'll probably make a whole video on each profession when it comes to Wrath Classic, or at least a specific video helping you to choose a profession. But what I will say is that jewel crafters get access to some fancy new stuff, including some powerful gems, as well as a daily cooldown craft, and as usual the jewel crafting trinkets. Engineers still have access to the usual engineering stuff, making it quite decent for both PvP and PvE, and you also have an absolutely incredible glove enchant that comes from engineering, which can increase your haste rating on demand with a very low cooldown, and is single-handedly what makes engineering the best profession by far for a lot of DPS classes in Wrath of the Lich King. And on top of that, we also have a brand new profession coming in Wrath Classic, which is Inscription. This profession allows you to craft glyphs, which can enhance your gameplay, as well as alter the way certain spells look, and even reduce cooldowns and increase durations of specific abilities. This profession will be an absolute gold-making machine in Wrath Classic, and that's pretty much all I'm going to say on that topic for now. What I will say is that if you are looking to make gold in Wrath Classic, you can never go wrong with Herbalism, since scribes will need a lot of herbs, so if you are starting TBC right now, or you are thinking about creating an alt for gold farming, you might want to skill up Herbalism while you are leveling up. Skinning is also great, as you can obtain a rare item from skinning, which is called Arctic Fur, which will be in demand all throughout Wrath of the Lich King. Personally, I am looking at having a jewel crafting, I'm looking at having jewel crafting and engineering on my main character, which also means I will 100% need to have an alt with mining on it, so I can farm some ores to send to my main, and I will also be grabbing either Herbalism or Skinning on that character as well, so I can use it as a complete farming alt. Knowing which professions you will be using on your main character also lets you know which sub-professions you might need on alt characters, and having this knowledge right now will let you prepare those characters ahead of time, which is why I say that professions and character leveling goes hand in hand when it comes to preparations. My general advice is to use 2 crafting professions on your main, as those usually come with pretty strong bonuses, and for most classes the strongest professions will probably be jewel crafting and engineering when it comes to PvE, and then you just have a farming alt, so you don't have to spend all of your gold on your current crafting professions, and being self-sufficient is great. One thing I will say is that because there is a new profession coming in Wrath of the Lich King called Inscription, the demand for herbs will be even larger than it was in TBC Classic and Classic WoW, so if you don't have a character with Herbalism yet, it might be a good idea to start leveling one up, because Herbalists are going to make a lot of gold in Wrath of the Lich King. It is also a good idea to stock up on some old profession herbs so you can skill up Inscription when that becomes available, and for example, for the Burning Crusade, people made a bunch of profit by selling something they called the Jewel Crafting Kits, which basically was just a big bundle of every material used to skill up jewel crafting from 0 to max, and you can do the same for Inscription as well, so sell Inscription skill up kits or bundles. Speaking of gold, that is the second thing that I want to talk about for Wrath of the Lich King. Start farming gold right now, use the fact that TBC items are generally worth a lot of gold, and use that to your advantage. And sure, you can probably farm 500 gold per hour or more in Wrath of the Lich King, while right now you might be semi-capped at 300 gold per hour, but when Wrath actually comes around, you definitely don't want to spend your time endlessly farming gold. There's a lot of things that you will still need gold for in Wrath, just like in Classic WoW and TBC Classic, such as for example class training, albeit that is just for the level 70 to 80 training. You also have professional materials if you don't want to farm them yourself, and at max level you will have to donate one of your kidneys if you want to be completely set for raiding consumables. It's probably nothing compared to Classic WoW though, so those of you who raided in OG Classic WoW probably have no kidneys left to donate anyway. That is not all though. In Wrath of the Lich King we will also have a new type of flying, called cold weather flying, which is something you need to cash out for if you actually want to fly in Northrend, and this will cost you 1000 gold per character that you want this for. Next up, another gold sink is the dual talent specialization, which allows you to have 2 different talent sets, and this also costs 1000 gold for each character that you want this on. That is 2000 gold per character, already just from dual talent specialization and cold weather flying. So the point is, start farming gold before Wrath of the Lich King comes out. Speaking of Wrath of the Lich King and gold, there's a couple of items that you could be buying right now to make profit in Wrath of the Lich King as well. I will cover this more in depth in a future investment video, where I go through all of my WOTLK Classic investments, but for now I'll leave you with this. Purchase black diamonds that are under 25 silver each. In Wrath, these can be crafted into prismatic black diamonds, which will reveal a random gem, which vendors for 25 silver each, putting the vendor value of black diamonds at 25 silver. This means that any black diamonds you purchase under 25 silver will turn into a guaranteed profit through vendor shuffling. Next up, it's a smart move to start playing Classic WoW or TBC Classic in advance of WOTLK Classic coming out, as there are a couple of items from the Burning Crusade that will really help you on your Classic WoW journey. For example, if you are playing a rogue or planning to play a rogue in Classic WoW, you want to obtain 2 pieces of Slayer gear for that tier set, which is part of the Wrath pre-base, and most people go for the Slayer's bracers and the Slayer's boots. Amis of the Convoker is another item from the Burning Crusade that are on several people's or classes pre-best in slot lists for early Wrath, usually healers but also for certain caster DPSers. This is a very good item. On top of that, all of the endgame Burning Crusade raiding gear will be incredibly useful for the early levels of Wrath of the Lich King, so if you're interested in getting ahead of the pack and leveling up fast, most of TBC raiding gear will easily carry you all the way to level 76 before you start changing some of it out, and some of it will even stay with you until level 80 and you start doing heroic dungeons. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. A couple of things to think about now that we are quite some time into the Burning Crusade, and with Wrath lurking around the corner, so you know that you will be ready for Northrend when WOTLK Classic actually comes out. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, slap a like on it if you did enjoy it, and subscribe to the channel for more Classic WoW videos. Thank you so much for watching, I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again very soon.